Why do we believe that cutting ourselves off from the people who care about us, calling it something like, I'm putting my head down, grinding, or hashtagging it, is how we become successful in a capitalistic society? I'm not going to say that this is indicative of simply the Black community, but I do find it to be symptomatic of the lower class rungs of society who are trying to climb out of poverty and into the perceived stability of upper class society. Whether it's more money, a better job, a more powerful job or role, getting into school, whatever various ways we climb up the social ladder, I want to tell you very sincerely that abandoning people who have a positive emotional investment in you is the dumbest ever. Hey guys, it's Julesy and we're trying to be on the roll in 2018, shooting for every Monday and Thursday. Sorry I got off track last week, but I have been doing good for like 2 weeks. Yummy. Popping off though with the Smart Brown Girl discussions. It is a movement, and if you're new here, subscribe, get the notifications, join the conversation, because engagement, that is comments and hitting that thumbs up button, matter deeply. I thank you. I want to ask again, why do we believe that isolation yields success? Especially to make this a bit more intimate, a Black woman who typically has absorbed a significant amount of trauma through generations, through our childhood and coming into our Black womanhood, I want us to examine why we often have the inclination to turn inward and how unhelpful isolating ourselves is. We live in a capitalistic society that functions on the exploitation of labor for wealth in very, very broad terms. Wealth is not just a matter of money. Let me rephrase that. Sustainable wealth that can be passed down through generations, the sort of stability many of us are thinking of as we talk about becoming successful and establishing our careers, settling down and building our legacy, is not simply about the dollars you have in the bank. It is about your proximity to influence and power, your access to a network of resources, who you know absolutely holds weight in this society. The people that care about, who are emotionally invested in your well-being, that love you and you love, might not have the mindset or status that you are pursuing, but they absolutely benefit you. It is one thing to minimize someone's influence in your life. We do this as we enter into adulthood and leave our parents' home, as we evolve through our stages from high school to college or adulthood in general, to defining how we want the world to see us. We solidify our close circle of friends, creating a board of confidants, but we do have to remember that as much as we are defining ourselves, the people that we engage are emotionally investing in us. These relationships deserve a level of reciprocity. Rarely does one truly isolate themselves in today's time and age. Social media is a big hindrance. I am working on myself as I scroll through Instagram and respond to comments on Facebook. Plus, we simply do not live in a society that, no matter how much we claim the success of the American dream is to pick yourself up by the bootstraps, that truly makes it possible for someone to do it on their own. Listen to interviews about people whose innovations become wildly successful, like on the podcast How I Built This. They interviewed the founders of Instagram. What differentiated Instagram from Flickr or Shutterbug or even Facebook that ended up buying them out for what? $1 billion? Instagram had filters. One of the guys was on vacation with his wife who mentioned, yo, add filters so my pictures are pretty. Drybar became this phenomenal success because Ali Webb had a great team of close friends and family behind her idea. BET was Robert Johnson having access and a network of people he could call on. The relationships you cultivate matter. And I know part of using these examples also highlights the frustration for a lot of us who do not come from communities of access, who don't have family members like Ali with successful careers and monies that they can invest in us with. Take that risk. And honestly, that's why we often turn inward, facing forward and realizing the dearth of resources that you do not have easy access to can and is frustrating. But I want to encourage you to use that as a reminder that we need to come together to create the structures that allow our communities to flourish, and to not think of that simply in grandiose terms, but in a granular manner of how we engage others and how we start solidifying the foundational aspect. Getting into school, especially top tier programs, is partially, more than partially, about getting into the room with the right people of influence. Yeah, your homegirls or your parents might not be wealthy or well educated, but their different interests might inspire your story. And trust me, learning how to effectively tell your story to a diverse audience makes walking into the room rooms that teeter on the sphere of influence a much easier and productive experience. I totally understand the need for solace and to unplug emotionally, to have the space to be with yourself. That's like a weekend, okay, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks if you're trying to be nice. Maybe every night you have a cutoff time and a nighttime routine. But I'm speaking directly to the idea of isolating ourselves for months at a time to reach a goal. I don't know any model of grand success where a person was able to achieve it on their own. So I behoove you not to fall into that trap of a belief. Set boundaries with the integrity of compassion. Understand the emotional value your relationships foster. Collaborate with your peers because success ain't fun when you're alone. And learn how to be specific. I can't say that word in my life, the list, sorry. Learn how to be specific about the help that you need. I've definitely made this mistake through most of my 20s. I disappeared, I moved cities without telling anybody, stopped talking to people for months at a time because I was going through it and thought I would pop back up once I finally made it. If I could do it all over again, I would be honest about my struggles with the right people. We are talking about close friends and family here. Learn how to ask for the help that I actually need, thinking through the long game and not just in the short. Understand the power of perspective and therefore my sphere of influence through my friends and family. I missed so many opportunities because I tried to do things on my own. I wanted to be selfish and only care about myself, and it just took longer to get things done because no one achieves success on their own. By all means, scale back when needed. Do not engage toxic people. There are times of focus that means I can't sit on the phone and talk all day or even text. I might not be socially available for right now because I'm working on this, but hey, I'm really busy and focused on an XYZ because of ABC. How are you? Might be the pivotal aha moment you never saw coming. I hope I inspired some critical thought for my smart brown girls out there. As always, you can join the movement. Hey, shop Smart Brown Girl. You want to see more? You can make a one-time donation on Cash App or become a monthly patron on Patreon. And don't click out yet. I've done a series of videos, usually inspired by the same person, getting on my daggone nerves, about friendships and how to be emotionally mature. Click this video, and get into it. Deuces.